Hi there, and welcome to the Best Of show from Winthrop Close Up. Today we're looking back and highlighting the best stories from our 6 shows this semester. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right.
Welcome to Winthrop Close Up. I'm Lindsay Burrell.
And I'm Isaac Smith, and we have a special show planned for you this evening.
I'm Saisha Latimer, and that's right, we're highlighting some of the best of the best.
And I'm Jake Alexander. Today we've got politics, sports, entertainment, and more.
This semester, we've seen everything from national to local elections, including a very tight presidential race. Throughout the 2020 election season, Donald Trump and Joe Biden took different approaches to campaigning.
You got to get out and meet the voters. Even during COVID, people want to see you. Now, Biden's been doing, socially distanced events where he's masked and small crowds and so forth. Trump, on the other hand, who had COVID a couple of weeks ago, is going out with large groups of people who are sitting right next to each other and they're not wearing masks.
Dr. Holder says rallies and in-person events will always be a part of political participation, but that the COVID-19 pandemic could change the future of political campaigns. Our very own Caroline Riggs for covering the presidential elections throughout this semester.
Personally, I was able to cover a local race for Ralph Norman's re-election into Congress. Over 200 people gathered to celebrate Norman's re-election as he will be representing the District 5 of York County.
People have been closed in. They want to come out. There's a frustration with being cooped up. So it's different. It's changed things. It's changed the way you do your social media, the way you do your advertising, but it's just part of it.
Norman thanked his family, supporters, and even his opponent, Mo Brown, stating that it's not easy to put your name out there in politics. Isaac, I couldn't imagine being in the political scope of today. There's a lot of controversy when it comes to politics.
Politics have used media outlets such as Twitter to make statements. And speaking of controversy, this semester came with much controversy around candidates and even the newest Supreme Court judge, Amy Coney Barrett. Caroline Riggs continued the coverage.
Nominating and confirming a Supreme Court justice during an election year does not occur often. President Barack Obama was told the Senate would not consider his nominee in 2016 because it was an election year.
There is a precedent for that, but you'd have to go back to the administration of Andrew Johnson in 1867. The last time the Senate just didn't do anything with the nominee.
The confirmation of Justice Amy Coney Barrett has stirred up controversy over the future of the Supreme Court and the number of seats there could be.
There was some discussion about Biden, the Democrats are going to add 2 seats to make up for the fact that Barrett was rammed through on short notice. That's not going to go anywhere with the Republican Senate.
Although her confirmation has caused much discussion, Barrett has stated that it is not her place as a judge to allow her personal opinions and beliefs to affect her duties. This is Caroline Riggs for Winthrop Close Up.
Another major event we've had to combat and cover this semester has been the COVID-19 pandemic. I was able to cover a story which helped Winthrop students find out where they could get tested for free on their very own campus.
And I can't emphasize the importance enough for when a contact tracer contacts you, it is so very, very important to provide them the information that they are asking, because that is the only way that we have any chance for mitigating the spread of this virus, is to understand exactly who you were around so that they can contact that person to quarantine. Otherwise, people are still out and about in the community exposing others, and that's how this continues to spread. So we really, really need for people to be willing to answer their phone and then answer their questions honestly.
Concadora wants to stress to the community the importance of contact tracing when it comes to COVID-19.
I also covered a story about how the Rock Hill community came together to support those in need during this pandemic. Brittany Kelly, owner of the Rock Hill Community Fridge, explains how the fridge came into beginning.
Back in July, believe it or not, I had 2 little girls reach out to me that they know that I like to do things in the community and help the community out, and so They showed me an article actually out of California and said, if you can make this happen, we will take care of it, we will stock it. So I said, give me a minute, and I reached out to a select few people that I kind of keep in my back pocket that can help me, that are movers and shakers in the community, and help me put things together. And within a couple hours, we had a fridge donated, and we were just researching all that we could to get it up and going. And within the next week, we had it up and going. So it's only been in service now for about 6 weeks, but already in those 6 weeks, we've fed almost over 1,000 people.
The Rock Hill Community Fridge can be found downtown Rock Hill outside of the Mercantile store.
I saw this, that they're doing this in LA, and I really want to try this, and I was like, absolutely, like, I will 100% help you with whatever you need. So I actually ended up doing the branding for it. I designed the logo for it. A lot of my friends come here. I've seen a lot of like Winthrop students coming here now, and just a lot of community members. So it feels really good to see that like everyone can benefit from it.
To find out more information about the Rock Hill Community Fridge, visit cdmercantile.com.
I remember when we first heard that story, and it was really cool to see, you know, all the progress they've made with that community fridge, and then also to see where they got the idea. You know, a similar charity in California started that, and that concept ended up making its way all the way to the East Coast, and I think that's just remarkable.
Right. What I really enjoyed about it, knowing that it's in walking distance from Winthrop's campus, is very good. So that way students know where it is and they know how to navigate there.
Absolutely.
Not only have people been affected by COVID-19 through food scarcity, but it has also affected mental health. Our reporter Regina Cobb covered this issue. Take a look.
Mental illness is a term used to describe a number of conditions, such as bipolar or depression, that affects the way a person feels or thinks. However, genetics can be a contributing factor that influence mental illness. But before healthcare professionals can prescribe the right medication, they apply a multi-step process to find the right treatments.
So it's kind of like trying on outfits. You have to try on different medications before you know which one's going to work for you.
If the medications or treatments prescribed do not work properly, it can cause a mental setback for the patient, which could lead to emotional stress.
There is a sense of like hopelessness, like nothing is happening for them. They're not making any headway. So depressive, this is the point where depression starts stepping in.
When you're in that state of mind, it's like tunnel vision. You literally cannot see another way out. You're just so tired, you're exhausted, tired of fighting, your body's tired of fighting.
If you or someone you know is feeling stressed or your medication is not working properly, don't hesitate. Seek medical attention right away. Your mental well-being depends on balance, because mental illness is an ongoing mental battle that requires a lifetime worth of treatments. Regina Cobb for Winthrop Close Up.
One of my favorite opportunities this semester was being able to share the story of a survivor of a human trafficking attempt here in Rock Hill.
I was not the only girl there that night.
For Faith, it was part of her routine, going to the gym like any other night. However, once she arrived, she noticed something was off.
I noticed that there was a truck that was still running, which I thought was strange. You know, who sits in a parking lot at a gym? So I made a mental note of it.
When she finished her workout and made her way to her car, that's when things started to go wrong.
I got to my car, locked the doors, and when I was leaving, I was almost to the exit, and another car that I had not seen came out of nowhere with dim lights and completely blocked off the exit.
What happened next? Faith said that the truck began to charge for her as she was cornered. She then realized she had to get out. Fast.
Called my mom. She told me to call 911. And I weaved in and out of traffic until we got to a location that my mom and I had planned on. And the police officer met me there and followed me home.
The biggest issue that Faith pointed out to me was the lack of security cameras in the area, which means that had she gotten abducted, there'd be no way to know who the perpetrators actually were.
I would avoid going to parking lots that don't have security cameras, especially at night. and I would have a taser or pepper spray or a gun, no matter what.
Faith hopes that by getting her story out, she can use her voice to help save more lives.
Thank you for sharing such a compelling story. I know as a woman, I've been in situations where I felt unwary of my surroundings, so I really appreciate you shedding light on such an important topic.
Yeah, it's an important topic indeed, and as I've said, I think it gets overlooked. And you know, Faith wrote me after the story came out and the show was done, and she was extremely grateful that her story got out just because it had the ability to save more lives, and I was grateful that I got to be a part of that.
Definitely.
Well, one of the things people don't often think about is what happens when anchors go off script.
We've chosen 3 of our favorite moments from this semester. Here is number 3.
And Sarah, I don't know about you, but as a sports fan, I cannot wait for basketball season to start.
I can't wait to be in the stands again and get cheering for our Winthrop Eagles. I absolutely love going to the games.
Il fait si froid dehors, ici c'est confortable, laissez-vous faire, milord, et prenez bien vos aises, vos peines sur mon cœur, et vos pieds sur une chaise, je vous connais.
Women's basketball is starting back up, but things are looking a little different this season. The Lady Eagles start a new era as they bring in a bunch of newcomers and the addition of interim head coach Samika Randall-Lay. Lay believes that with this mix, the key is patience.
A lot of new faces out there, and they're trying to get to know one another, so off-court chemistry, we're trying to work on that within the guidelines of COVID-19.
COVID-19 protocols are put into effect each practice. They are asked to wear masks and hand sanitizer during practice. Like NFL, COVID-19 has impacted their schedule for the season. Lady Eagles' first game of the season is against Wofford College.
COVID-19 is not only affecting us here at home, but even major sports leagues such as the NFL. In addition to the canceled preseason, the NFL has added a number of protocols, such as limiting the number of fans inside the stadiums, wearing masks on the sidelines, and getting tested on a regular basis.
There's 2 different swab tests I have to do on the first day. The second day, it has to be a 24-hour window. I have to test negative again. And if I test negative again, then the third day, I have to test negative again. And if I test negative that time, then I get to go into the stadium and actually start working.
Halfway through the season, teams are still testing positive for the virus, which has led to the rescheduling of several games.
From one game to another, I was able to highlight a local business that is bringing life back to those classic arcade games. Let's take a look. Games such as Dig Dug, Galaga, and Pac-Man are able to be played in their original form at Player One Up in downtown Rock Hill, and this Sparkade is giving a new life to some of those old classics.
We've got all the old classic video games and pinball machines from basically the 80s and 90s.
Even though Player One Up is a 21 and older barcade, Saturdays and Sundays are open to all ages so families can get in on the fun.
On Saturdays we're open from 12 to 11, but from 12 to 5 we are open to any age to come in. It's $5 admission into the arcade, which gives you unlimited free play on all the video games and pinball machines.
Player One Up will also be hosting Ladies' Nights on Thursdays with a free cover charge.
That looks like fun, but you don't have to leave your home to find entertainment. Gary Newsom highlighted some of the scariest movies of all time. Gary highlighted a recent scientific study which determined the scariest movie of all time. Researchers curated a list of horror films by looking at the critique list and social media recommendations. 50 participants were fitted with a heart monitor to watch more than 124 hours of horror films. One of the 35 horror films measured, Sinister, has the highest heart rate spike, being 131 beats per minute. The resting heart rate during the film has 86 beats per minute, the highest of any films in the study. Other films within the top 5 were Insidious, The Conjuring, Hereditary, and The Paranormal Activity. Lindsay, speak of media consuming our lives in this generation. What is your favorite social media?
My personal favorite is TikTok. What about you?
Mine is Twitter. I love to see the tweets. I love to get news from there. It's just the best app to me.
I love media, just media in general. And I personally enjoyed when our co-anchors Saisha and Jacob discussed their favorite arcade games. You've been keeping up with our top banners. Here's number 2.
So, what were some of your favorite arcade games growing up?
I used to play a lot of racing games,
Okay.
like back at all the skating rinks and stuff, like NASCAR Arcade. Hydro Thunder was another one of my favorites. So what about you? What did you play?
Personally, I was a Pac-Man girl myself, especially like when everything turned blue and it was free game for all. I'm getting all the fruits, everything. That's it for me.
Do you long to make great tales of adventure? Do you dream of fantasy worlds, or of great battles of good versus evil? If you do, come to Writing 311, where you can make all your dreams a reality.
October was full of spooky stories from our reporters. One of my favorites was covering students working seasonal jobs at local haunted house attractions. The Frightmare on Dam Road Haunted House certainly was an appealing and fun seasonal job. Despite the conflicts of completing assignments, students who worked here said they appreciated how flexible the operation was.
This job is not as stressful because it's a fixed schedule. It's only Friday, Saturday from 6:30 to 10 p.m. and then on Halloween weekend we work a Thursday as well. So I knew ahead of time my hours and the schedule, so it's been really easy and not stressful at all, thankfully.
The fall season proved to be the most popular time of year students were looking for seasonal jobs. Haunted houses in particular are known to be a big draw for high school and college students alike.
My favorite part of being a reporter is the opportunity to cover fun events such as the South Carolina State Fair. The State Fair this year is going mobile as a drive-through event, but that's not keeping families from showing up and having a blast.
This is so fun. They have all the aspects of the fair, but you just stay in your car. So we really enjoyed it.
Throughout the drive-thru, you'll see agricultural displays and farm animals. Families are asked to stay in their car throughout the entirety of the fair. And we absolutely can't forget about everyone's truly favorite part of the fair, the food. South Carolina State Fair is doing a drive-thru so that you don't have to miss out on all of your favorites. And I might have even scored a corn dog. Thank you.
This is a premier event. The State Fair here in South Carolina is the #1 eating fair in the Southeast. And even though COVID-19 came by, they didn't let it shut us down or stop us.
The fair is providing a small arrangement of its top concession stands throughout the years, allowing people not to miss out on their favorite fair food. Jacob, what's your favorite part of the fair?
Well, you know, the food, the rides, and just the atmosphere. It's always a fun place to be, you know?
Absolutely. My personal favorite is the food, and on that story, I was able to get a corn dog, a funnel cake.
Not too bad.
And now the moment you've been waiting for. Here is the top off-script moment from this semester.
The Mercantile is hoping that more businesses will get involved. If you have a business that wants to host a fridge, go to rockhillcommunityfridge@gmail.com. And Lindsay, something I just learned, apparently they're doing something similar in California, which is where they got this idea to do it here in Rock Hill.
Well, it's definitely a great idea, especially during these times. I even heard that there's actually a fridge for dog and cat food, because a lot of people who do suffer from food scarcity will actually feed their pets before feeding themselves.
That's great that they're doing that, and we hope to keep it going.
Absolutely. Well, guys, what a fun way to wrap up this semester. Once again, I'm Lindsay Burrell.
I'm Jake Alexander.
I'm Isaac Smith.
And I'm Saisha Latimer. Thank you for watching and have a great night.